Everybody Hates Rand is a Wheel of Time podcast that will contain spoilers for all 14 books. So if you're anti-spoiler, pause this, read all 14 books, and come back. We'll be here, waiting.
Our title is a joke and is meant to be taken as such. In the context of this podcast, everybody refers to us and our cat. You are free to feel however you want about Rand, who is a fictional character. Don't DM us.
The world is a mess, Dark One stretching out his hand. The dragon's reborn, the fire's been fanned, but everybody hates Rand. Everybody hates Rand. Everybody hates Rand.
Licking his butthole.
Yeah, whatever. This is Everybody Hates Rand, your friendly neighborhood Wheel of Time podcast. It's also our season finale of
Thank
The
God.
Shadow Rising. Yeah, and I cannot emphasize enough how relieved we are.
Yeah.
I mean, The Fires of Heaven is a thick boy, but it's way more palatable because no Perrin.
Yeah. Do you want to take the Fires of Heaven to Washington with you and make your siblings do
Yeah,
a photo
I should,
shoot?
but that requires so many levels of explanation. Like, 1, I have a podcast. 2, it's about this dumb series of books called The Wheel of Time. 3, sometimes we take pictures of it so Sally has something to post on Instagram whenever we release an episode. So,
Also, I could just give it to Gethin and see what he does.
I feel like Gethin would be... I'd forget. You know how bad I am at taking
Yes,
pictures.
I do.
I know. I'm, seeing my sister for the first time in 2 months, and I guaranteed will forget to take any photo evidence.
It's okay. You don't have to. It's all in your mind, Ballas. Okay.
Yeah, I'm Emily Jushaw.
I'm the other one.
She's Sally Goodger. We're all grumpy and tired here.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I always feel like I'm disappointing someone when I bring low energy to EHR.
Well, you're disappointing anyone.
It's just that today was real bad.
I just transcribed an episode where you were sick. We said you were sick, but you're still very funny in it.
Thank you.
And you don't come off as sounding sick or upset.
So I just want to give you guys my best, but there was a creepy stalker at my work today.
Yeah, gross. This is a podcast where we talk about the end of The Shadow Rising. Unfortunately, it's from Rand's point of view, and it's also weirdly biblical, like Book of Revelations biblical. What the fuck? Tittle's finding a toy under our couch. I mean, it has everything. There's, like, a miracle performed by a Jesus-like figure involving the weather.
Yeah.
There is a false Jesus prophet. Isn't there a word for that in the Bible?
Time for me to Google.
False
things.
Messiah, maybe? It's
You
probably
know
just
more
a
about
false
the Bible
prophet.
than me.
I have not read the Book of Revelations, though. One time we were supposed to in seminary, but did I do any homework for seminary? Absolutely not. I just lied and said I did. Because that's how you really teach teens how to get closer to Jesus.
Yeah, warnings against false prophets and false messiahs.
Ah, sweet.
According to Wikipedia.
Wikipedia.
Wikipedia. Encyclopedia.
Is there a Bible Wikipedia? You know, like how some fandoms have a Wikipedia? Is there a Bible fandom Wikipedia?
Bible.wiki.
Bible.wiki. Well, it would have to be something cool from the Bible. Plague of Locusts.wiki.
Deuteronomy.wiki.
Deuteronomy. Leviathan. Leviticus, I mean.
Leviticus. Yeah, so there's a false prophet, a miracle performed. There is...
There's literally a line where Ruark's like, you should not have done that. And Rand's like, I come not to bring peace, but the sword. Essentially, I'm paraphrasing.
I was like, what? I don't remember
I think he
that.
says, like, I'm not here to bring peace, I'm here to bring change, or something
Yeah.
like that. But Jesus is like, I'm not here to make everything, like, swell again, motherfuckers, because this is the real world. I'm here to fuck things up and give you, and set the stage for the papal schism. You know?
Many years later.
That's what Jesus said, I bet.
He was like, I want to watch all the popes fight.
Jesus was like, I am creating my own personal HBO show called Popes.
I mean, they are the most dramatic in history. It's true.
know. HBO, get on it. There's like...
Isn't there the young pope on HBO?
Yeah, there's the young pope,
With
and
Jude Law.
then there's the new pope, which I think is the sequel to the young pope. I'm very confused. I feel like he's still young, right?
Yeah, who'd they replace him with? Tom Holland.
Yeah, you can't get younger than, I mean, when it comes to popes. There have been like 9 million popes because they're all appointed when they're like 78 years old.
Yeah.
And this was the Middle Ages, so they
years
died 3 months later. Of syphilis or whatever the fuck. Bloodletting.
Yeah, leeches.
A single boil. I know. I heard the most disgusting thing about boils in the last episode of Sawbones. I shan't repeat it. It was too disturbing.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You'll just have to live with the knowledge that I know something.
Okay. What other biblical stuff do we have, Emily Jushaw?
That's pretty much all I clocked. There's probably more, because I imagine Robert Jordan, South Carolinian, knew more about the Bible than I did. But who's to say? The plot that happens is that Rand and co. arrive in Al-Khair-Dal.
Sure.
The Golden Bowl is what I actually remember it being.
Mm-hmm.
They arrive pretty much just as the, like, Shadow are also arriving. There's only a few other clans present. I get so confused on the difference between clans and sets.
Yeah, it's like clan sept society.
Yeah.
It's like,
so,
what?
yeah, like, there's a whole thing where Rand is like, here are all the societies that are around, like, and it's just, I can't keep track. I don't know how anyone keeps track of things like that. But basically, the people in attendance are going to be more or less important because they're going to be, like, Rand's main Ale chief allies. Mm-hmm. So there's Bale, the super tall guy. Is he a super tall guy?
I thought, yes, Bale's the super tall one. And then there's, like, Harn or whatever, who's, like, ancient.
Yeah, there's Hearn.
Hearn.
And then there's also Han.
Solo.
Yeah, Solo, as it were.
Yeah.
Han Solo from Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift. His name is also Han Solo.
Is it?
Yeah, Seoul spelled like the city in Korea, then hyphen, then O-H. Yeah.
That's dumb.
It's the Fast and the Furious franchise, my friend.
But they gotta have, like, some standards, you know?
No, they were just like, we're going to have this character who we kill off, then we go back in time so you can see him alive, and then we're going to make you repeat his death, but this time with Jason Statham. But then in the next movie, spoilers if you haven't seen the Fast and the Furious trailer, we are going to bring him back to life. Because there are no laws in Fast and the Furious.
Sure.
We're too fast and too furious for them.
In it.
I know, what the fuck? Did they just have the whole WWE, like, roster on?
Mm-hmm.
Is that how John Cena started?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
So did The Rock.
Yeah, and Ronda Rousey was in
Oh, yeah.
a couple movies ago.
Also, they did, like, an absolute crime against Charlize Theron in the movie.
I know.
Her hair.
Looks like some of the high Q.
Fuck, you're so right.
I'm serious. Whoever designs the hair in high Q also got a hold of Charlize Theron's head. And was like,
I can do this.
I can make it perfect.
Yeah.
I know how to make someone look like a villain. A bad haircut. What if your moral compass was determined by the quality of your haircut? I, who have been cutting my own hair for years, would be significantly more evil than I am now. I imagine. Who's to say?
I think your hair looks nice, though. You don't have a bad haircut.
Thanks. It's just, like, not a good haircut either.
I think it's a good haircut.
It's a true neutral haircut.
Okay.
We get to the bowl.
There's, like, this weird battle between, not battle, it's like standoff between the Tardad and the Shadow.
Yeah.
Where they're, like, just running and chanting, and it's very alarming.
It's very odd because you're like, I don't really understand what's happening. Like, they get there, and Rand's like, oh, it's the Shadow. And Rurik's like, well, no worries, boo, because we've got, like, 1 million Tardad behind us. Literally, I think he says, like, 15,000 or something.
There's so many.
Ridiculous number like that.
Yeah.
That's so many boys and girls.
Yeah.
I was about to say boys, but hey, them maidens, you know? And Rourke's like, we just gotta go down to, like, the little talking point where, you know, laws of oh dear. Tybalt's under your blanket and he just, like, lurched out. You know in horror movies when there's, like, a screen of something and people, like, press against it? That's what's happening here.
Yeah.
But
Okay,
at my feet.
Okay. Weird energy.
I know, sorry. There's, like, a brief discussion where Rand's like, okay, we gotta get to the talking point. And Maureen's like, well, let me come with you to be your protection. Mm-hmm. And he's like, that's cool, that's fine, but I've got this girl gang who have my back already, so I should be good. And also, I don't trust you. And she's like, fine, at least take Lan. And he's like, again, girl gang, far superior to Lan.
Yeah, obviously.
In sheer numbers alone, for one thing, but also just in personality. Style, yeah, grace.
Charisma, uniqueness, nerve, and talent.
Exactly. And the maidens are all like, fuck yeah, fuck it. Rand, like, recaps how he suddenly now has all the maidens as his personal bodyguard. Essentially, I can't really remember how it goes, but they got him drunk. That was involved.
And they, like, took his clothes off.
And put him to bed.
Because the Ale are weird.
And Avienda and the Ale and the maidens have some weird tension that revolves around the fact that the maidens think Rand is courting Avienda, and Avienda knows that the maidens think that Rand is courting Avienda, but he's not.
Yeah.
And it's all super confusing, and honestly, I don't really know why we include these weird subplots. Maybe we should not, you know? Anyway, Matt's like, can I also come? And Rand's like, I thought you'd want to stay here where it is slightly more safe. And Matt's like, here's the thing. My safety is determined by your safety, hombre. So best way to ensure that is to make sure I am there to prevent you from being stabbed. Mm-hmm. I trust myself. Your girl gang? Great. But me? Also good.
Perfect.
I am part of the girl gang in spirit.
Oh my god. He would be.
Yeah, so they all start charging into the canyon, singing their, like, battle song about washing the spears.
Yeah.
With blood? Is that what that means?
Probably.
I don't know.
Disgusting, though.
Disgusting. And they're all, like, getting ready to veil themselves and fucking fight the Shadow. And Rand's like, hey, maybe we should not. And Rurik's like, you're right, they're not even worthy of being murdered by us.
No honor to the Shadow.
No honor to the Shadow!
And everyone's like, oh, sick burn, Ruark.
Sick burn. And Rand's like, I don't even know what the fuck I just did.
Yeah.
I created...
Not even worthy to be murdered.
I guess.
It is, like, I don't know. The Ale are incomprehensible.
Yeah. Then they get to the little talking point where we see some of the clan chiefs already described. And also Savannah, or Savannah, however you pronounce her name. Savannah, which is how I will pronounce her name.
Yeah, it'd be pretty ridiculous if her name was Savannah. Like,
Savannah.
Like your high school bully. I mean, that tracks.
Oh my god, did everyone have a high school bully named Savannah?
I feel like it's a pretty universal experience.
Why are there not more Savannahs on the Bachelor franchise? Because that's, like, completely high school bullies, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
No, it's a bunch of Victorias and Hannahs. All of the Hannahs I've known have been delightful.
I knew a pretty mean Hannah. But I've known a lot of nice Victorias.
Interesting.
Yeah. Never a nice Vicky.
Well, yeah, that goes without saying because of the Parent Trap. With Dennis Quaid. Wasn't her name Vicky?
Or, The Fairly Odd Parents with the evil babysitter.
Oh, was her name Vicky?
Yeah, Icky Vicky.
What a sick burn on the Fairly Odd Parents. Anyway, Savannah is Couladin's brother's wife, I think.
Yeah.
She's the roof mistress, and Rand immediately notes, well, she's different than the roof mistress I've met, Ruark's other wife. And it's maybe because all women are different from each other.
Yeah.
So that's fun. She's also described as having a greedy mouth and big tits.
Yeah, it's pretty gross.
As if Robert Jordan is descending to say, I would like to ascribe multiple 7 deadly sins.
I'm sorry, Tybalt is biting my feet.
Tybalt. Get out.
He's just, like, under my blanket trying to eat me.
Just don't.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah, it's like Robert Jordan is like, I don't know how to write women with personalities, so for my villain women, I will just, like, handpick a couple of the 7 deadly sins, mix them all together, and hope that creates a woman with a personality. And it doesn't.
It does not.
It does not. Obviously, Savannah's an obnoxious character, and I wish she died way earlier in the series so I wouldn't have to put up with her. But she is also, like, a maligned attempt of Robert Jordan trying to create a female villain, which he always fails at.
Yeah, there's just, like, Rand, of course, comments on how she's, like, the only ale woman he's seen to show significant cleavage.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's just, like, always a sexualized component to all of the female villains. And I believe we've talked about this before, but, like, Lanfear, of course, is, like, literally just Tits McGee herself.
Yeah. Grendel is, like, Freud. She's literally used to be a psychologist, so she's just, like, Freud. Sexuality complex. Central.
Yeah, like, now Savannah, and even, like, Tylan, who is a villain, is, like, a rapist, so there's sexual components.
It's either they're hypersexual or, what's the opposite of hyper? Hyposexual?
Sure.
I guess.
I think so. I think that's right.
But you have these women like Elida and lots of other Red Aja ladies who turn out to be Black Aja or just Red Aja. And it's like, because we cannot possibly imagine them in a situation wherein they would be fucking a man, that sort of adds to their villainy.
Yeah, it's very, like the Red Aja, and I also think we've said this before, is like coded like with militant feminist, but also like militant lesbian language, which is just like so disgusting because, then there's just the villainization of like sexualities that don't exist for men's consumption or benefit.
Like, notably, the only couple of Red Aja characters we get who are at all expanded in their characters, there's one named Pavera, who in the last couple books of the series becomes important, of course, because she falls in love with a man. I know, gag. And then there's, like, the lady who becomes Edwin's eggs keeper after Shiriam does a bad and gets beheaded.
Oh, fuck. Rip Shiriam, I guess.
Not really.
And rip her head off, though.
Oh, my God.
Okay.
Anyway, point made. Women aren't bad just because they have tits.
Tits does not equal bad.
Yeah, let women have tits, 2020.
In fact,
or not have tits, however the case may be.
Yeah, one might argue, though, that tits are, in fact, excellent.
Yeah.
Big fan.
I certainly would concur. Just don't be gross about them, Robert.
I know. Also, maybe just a passing comment to the discourse on Twitter about how it's not bad the way that Robert Jordan has to draw constant attention to women's breasts. It is bad.
It is bad.
You have control as a writer, and therefore you don't have to sexualize all your female characters, even if it isn't a male point of view.
Like, it's just bad.
So whenever anyone tries to justify, like, this male character is horny, of course he's looking at someone's tits, it's like, listen up, fucko. You just don't have to be gross about it. And I've never seen a man write about a man looking at a woman's tits and not be gross about it. So just don't do it.
It's also, like, possible to be sexually attracted to women and not be constantly thinking about their tits. I would know.
I do it every day.
I do it every day. I see a woman and I'm like, that's a very pretty woman. And I don't think about how her tits look, necessarily.
Yeah. Sometimes I do. But it's not my,
default,
all-consuming thought upon which I judge her morality.
I don't see tits first, woman second.
No, it's tits first, villain second.
Oh my god. Anyway, Savannah's arguing that Couladin should be able to, like, chill with the clan chiefs, because, of course, he has conned everyone into thinking he went to Ruidaean or something like that, because he's been there, like, an extra day. Mm-hmm. And Couladin, like, gets up there and is like, yeah, I'm fucking the Dragon Reborn, motherfuckers. The Karakarn, I guess. And he's like, check out my sweet tats. And Rand's like, what the fuck? Anyone can get a sparkly tat these days.
Yeah.
It's almost like magic exists.
Where did he get them?
I think one of the Forsaken gave them to him. Is the implication, but not... is there... You know how implication, the root word is imply? Mm-hmm. Is there something like that for explicit?
Explicate?
Explication?
Explanation?
Anyway, no one ever is like, here's how it fucking went down.
Yeah.
And I wish they would. Because sometimes I just have questions that I would like to have answered, Robert Jordan. But he's like, I for sure went to Rudaean, did the whole thing. Now I'm a clan chief, and also I'm a Karakarn, so get in line, bitches. And Rand's like, becomes the Spider-Man meme. Is like, you can't be the Karakarn, I'm the Karakarn. Check out my sweet sparkly tats.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, but he's a white boy, you know? He's like, well, prophecy said would be a white boy.
I mean, they're all white boys.
Exactly.
Rand's just the metaphorical white boy.
The white boy. He's like, I would be a metaphorical white boy, because technically, am born of the ale. Wise ones told me so, but I was adopted and raised in the Shire. Equivalent. And we were like, yeah, I fucking vouch for him. And everyone else is like, oh, really good enough. And they're like, Rand's like, well, I totally went to Rudaean, and I went in the glass columns, and I saw what happened there. And they're like, maybe we should talk about this some other place, just like some other place where our voices don't carry, like in the bad plot of a TV procedural. Yeah. Like literally, I think that happens in Monk once.
Everything happened in Monk once.
No, I think I've said that several times this season.
Yeah.
But Rand just charges on with absolutely no care for the cultural repercussions of his actions.
So the white boy.
And is like, yeah, I totally know that the ale used to be the Tuathan, and they're all descended from the same place. And Rurik's like, you absolute fuckface. Don't you even know that we don't talk about it, because when people go to Rudaean, only 1 out of 3 of them survive, which is a staggering statistic that I don't believe we've been given before. What the hell?
Yeah, 33.33%
of
ailment
dudes
survive Rudaean.
Are contented enough with their place in the world to handle this sort of upheaval.
Like, I mean, that does say something about their, sense of self, I guess.
Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah, it is a staggering statistic, though. I was like, what?
I know, I was like, oh, excuse me, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And Rand also is probably like, maybe if you'd told me that, I would not have done this as I did.
Yeah.
But he gets distracted by making it rain. He literally blessed the rains down in Africa. It's gonna take a lot to drag me away from you.
Because there's, like, this whole battle where everyone, of course, is, like, losing their shit. Like, all 13 million people there.
Out as soon as Rand drops the mic on this revelation.
Yeah. But
Rand is like, how can I possibly stop everyone from murdering each other? I know I'll make it rain. Well, he doesn't really know what he's doing or how. He just makes it rain, because that's Rand.
And everyone's like, never seen this before.
Okay, well, what? Rain?
Water from the sky.
Water.
Water.
Because literally before Rand gets there, one of the clan chiefs is like, I'm sick of talking about Cooladin. Can we talk about something important? Like water. Agua. We all need it to survive. No one needs Cooladin to survive. Arguably, without him, more of us would survive. Same cannot be said of water.
Yeah.
So anyway, Rand's like, sweet, made it rain. And Lanfear shows up, makes a little bubble, and is like, hello, I've come to talk to you. Asmodean's gone to Rudaean. Oh, fuck. Too many words that sound alike. She's like, I wish you had not done this, because now...
It's just so accurate to how everyone feels in this scene.
I wish you had not.
I wish you had not done this.
She's She's like, I too do not care about the cultural repercussions, but you did make it rain, and that freaked out Asmodean. So he's run off to get something in Ruidaean. I know what it is, but I'm not going to tell you. I'll maybe hint obliquely at what it is, just to give you a fun mind game. Because I'm a woman, and I love mind games.
It's the only thing that makes me horny.
It's as confusing as my... What's that line about how women don't piss as easily as men because their insides are all like a labyrinth?
Oh, yes!
So fun.
It, like, takes a while for the pee to come out because it has to, like, get through all the plumbing or whatever. I can't remember. I think you're right. I think it says, like, maze or labyrinth or something.
It's like the maze of her insides. And it's like, what? Kind of weird.
I forgot about that.
So mad. Anyway, and Rand's like, fuck, I gotta remember how to get to... I can't get to Ruidaean. It's like 3 weeks away. And then he's like, I did do a thing one time. Gotta remember how to do this thing, while Lanfear keeps monologuing. Mm-hmm. Lanfear's still monologuing, and Rand's like, remembered.
Goodbye!
And fucking takes off on his little magic stairs through the darkness. Which is a fun little sequence where he chases after Asmodean, eventually sees Asmodean up at the distance. Oh, and hey, Asmodean is dressed like a conductor, not a train conductor.
Oh, could you imagine?
That would have been incredible, like a little stripey overall.
He was dressed like Skimbleshanks from the Cats movie.
No, he's dressed in like a red coat that Rand describes as having tails, so he just sort of evokes the image of an orchestra conductor. And I imagine intense orchestral music would be playing in this scene.
There's actually just a full choir there.
Oh my god. Like a children's choir, like in his Dark Materials. Yeah. Which is a really upsetting thing, by the way, in a show all about child endangerment. Anyway, the Shia LaBeouf choir. That's who I want.
Fuck. Yes.
They could even be singing the Shia LaBeouf song.
Running through the woods. It's Shia LaBeouf. Well, then Shia LaBeouf would have to play Asmodean.
You're so right. Oh man, how do we get Shia LaBeouf up in this? No, Asmodean's like, I'm Lacey. I am in a red coat, and I am throwing fire at you, Randall Thor.
I'm gay. I'm new in town. I have AIDS.
And my hands are flamethrowers. There's some little back and forth power shenanigans. And then eventually Asmodean makes a gateway out. Rand's like, I don't know how to do that! Gotta hold his open and dive through it.
Yeah.
Which he does, but it slices his boot heel clean off, which does make one wonder how tall his boot heels are.
God, right?
He's already 6'3".
Is he just wearing, like,
or
King
whatever.
Louis quartz?
God, I hope so.
But also, like, then if it slices his boot heel off, he's just, like, hobbling around this entire scene with mismatched boot heels.
Yeah, which Harley Quinn does in Birds of Prey a lot, too.
Yeah.
And I found it very satisfying in those instances. Yeah. But, yeah, he's literally rolling around on the ground with Asmodean for a while.
That's true.
Anyway, Rand looks up Asmodean's... Oh, by the way, he knows at this point, he's figured out that Asmodean is going for the little statue that connects to the Choden Call. Those big-ass sangreals, the one Rand saw in Kyrian. But Rand's like, I gotta stop him. So he goes there, and he gets a hold of it right as Asmodean gets a hold of it. And there's, like, a second where their eyes are locked, and then they're both, like, reaching for the power at the same time. And they just fucking destroy half of everything. Ruidaean, more or less, comes crumbling down. They set the fucking Tree of Life on fire. They do an earthquake. Now there's a lake in Ruidaean, and that mist stuff is gone. It's no longer shielded, as Lanfear then tells us. What is the point of me telling you this? Men, when they do a fight, just make things worse for everyone.
Yeah, this scene is directly contrasted to Nynaeve's fight with Mogadhayan. Did I say that right?
Mogadhayan instead of Mogadhayan? I don't think it matters.
I'm thinking Asmodean. Ruidaeyan.
It's too confusing. What? This book series was not meant to be podcasted about.
Okay, what even is her name? Mogadhayan?
Mogadhayan.
Mogadhayan. Okay. Fuck. It's directly contrasted with Nynaeve's fight with Moghedien, which we talked about in the last episode, is like completely internal. You cannot see from the outside what is happening. Meanwhile, Lanfear rolls up and she's like, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah, Lanfear shows up and Asmodean and Rand are sitting there like two 6-year-old boys who just got into a tussle.
Yeah, just
are now
like
nursing their boo-boos.
Yeah, and it's like really upsetting because weirdly, when I read these chapters, I thought about Spider-Man Far From Home.
Of course, as one does.
Because after that movie, I remember telling Emily that it was really stressful for me because you could just, like, the entire movie, it was like the villains and the fights were just like destroying these ancient landmarks in Europe, and it like was very unsettling to me for some reason to just be like watching like this destruction of civilization. It was quote unquote civilization.
Yeah, I thought of that too, because then they're like, here we are in Ruidain also just destroying this city that is an uninhabited city but has been so remarkably well preserved.
Yeah.
And so intentionally preserved. Like some very powerful person before dying set up this bubble of mist around Ruidain to make sure that it wouldn't just get destroyed by time and the weather and things like that. And here Rand and Asmodean are literally wrestling for power and just like recklessly destroying that.
Yeah. And
having massive ecological repercussions, which of course turn out to be positive because there's not too much you can do in the desert that's a bad.
Yeah.
But you know, changing the landscape generally isn't a great thing.
Yeah, especially because I feel like there's this tone throughout the chapter where it's like not necessarily a bad thing that they've destroyed Ruidain.
They've opened it.
Yeah, they've like opened it up, and it's also like, of course, the like cyclical nature of this series is like things are destroyed and then reborn, and like, and so in order for the world to change, things have to first be destroyed. And so there's this idea that like the destruction of something so ancient and so well preserved is like, you know, put adjacent to like this extreme change with the Ale, and Ruidain is their place of like stasis and history, and we're just like shattering that.
Like it literally, Ruidain starter feels like a museum. In an interesting way. And there's a lot of museum rhetoric to be had, but it's interesting that they have this like literal like display almost of artifacts and interesting things that they were tasked with protecting. And as soon as Rand and Asmodean open up Ruidain, God, that's so hard to say.
Rand and Asmodean open up Ruidain.
It's literally just if you combined their names, it's Ruidain. What the hell? But once it's opened up, like Moiraine packs up a bunch of Angreal and Sangreal and is like, well, going back to Colonizer Central.
Yeah.
You know?
It like weirdly parallels this week.
The Elgin Marbles.
The Elgin Marbles. There was in the like EU negotiation with Brexit, Greece is like, fuck you, England, give me the Elgin Marbles back.
Yeah.
After
fuck
like
your colonizer asses.
Hundreds of years of them trying to get the Elgin Marbles back, and the Brits having this like horrible colonist rhetoric about how like Greece doesn't have the capacity to take care of them, like they're safer here in the center of civilization or whatever. And even though England went into Greece, ravaged Greece, and took all of their shit, which is like very much, it just has that same sort of vibe here where Moiraine is like, well, we came here, me and my angry magic son, and we destroyed your history and your land and your artifacts, and now I'm gonna take them.
Yeah. I don't know. I just think about that scene in Black Panther every day where Michael B. Jordan is standing in the museum like, hey, give me back my shit that you took from my people. It's just so relevant. Anyway, I think the museums should all give back things.
Yeah, like...
Obviously.
Yeah.
I don't know why it's a fucking matter of debate.
Yeah, like... I don't know. Whatever.
So they... Finally, Rand gets the upper hand when he remembers he also has an Angreal tucked away in his pocket, and he uses that to sever Asmodean's link to the Dark One, which is the first time, I believe, that anyone has ever explicitly said that that's what Rand is doing. Like, he's like, Asmodean sold his soul to the Dark One, and I just undid that. And Asmodean's like, that's not great for me, because my whole soul-selling dealio was how I did not go crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And Rand's like, that's irrelevant because you'll be dead in a book anyway.
Someone murders you.
Someone murders you. It's Grendel. I don't know why it's such a mystery.
Is it?
Huh?
Is it?
Yeah, it's like implied in one of the last books that it was Grendel, but it was also like, why the fuck?
Why is she murdering Asmodee?
Yeah, who cares? Why would anyone murder Asmodee? He's just gay and doing crimes.
The dream, really.
The dream, really.
He's just Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah. Anyway, Rand does that, and then Lanfear shows up and is like, what the fuck? Can't leave you guys alone for 2 minutes. And Rand's like, well, listen, he's severed from the Dark One, so now he has to be my teacher, because if he tries to go back to the Forsaken, then I'll just be like, oh, hey, he left the Dark One. What do you want to do? And especially if you testify for me that that's what he did. And Lanfear's like, fine, I will do that because I'm whipped or whatever. Mm-hmm. There's this weird scene where she, like, talks to herself. She's like, we can't kill him yet. While looking Rand dead in the eyes and referring to Rand. It's buck wild. It's like a Gollum moment. Mm-hmm. What's happened? Is she referring to herself and her tits?
No, we can't kill him yet.
Oh my god, that's the funniest thing I've ever thought of. You just, like, talk to your tits.
No, we can't kill Lanfear's our Gollum figure, but her ring is her tits. No, she's Smeagol and Gollum is her tits. Okay.
I'm sorry for all the tits discourse in this.
I am not sorry.
It's just a lot.
More titties.
Lanfear's like, I will assist you by putting a shield on Asmodean, which will wear down with time, which he can only access a little bit of the power to teach you. And then she kind of looks around surreptitiously for the female equivalent of what Rand is currently holding, doesn't see it, leaves.
Doesn't Rand have it?
Rand then goes and finds it.
Okay.
And picks it up and is like, I now have my 2 haunted dolls.
Boop-a-doo, 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 boop-a-doo.
And Asmodean's like, I wish you had not done this because she will kill you if she finds it.
I wish you had not done this.
That's going to be the title of this episode. I wish you had not done this. Asmodean's like, if she sees you with these, she's like, going to kill you. And Rand's like, she's going to kill you. She loves me.
She's in love with me.
She's in love with me. I do have the upper hand here. No one loves you, Asmodean.
Oh.
I know, well, that's what happens when you sell your soul to the devil. Don't make the rules. But then they go back to the Golden Bowl. Oh, by the way, Rand is now going to have these 2 statues. They're like Chodenkal, Chekhov's gun. Some similarities there, perhaps. 2 words. Second word has 3 letters. First word starts with ch. Chekhov's gun.
Chekhov's call.
Choden's gun.
Choden's gun.
And it's like, yeah, he will eventually use them with great purpose to cleanse Sidon, but then he will just stick the one in his pocket and carry it around to intimidate people. Because that's the type of person that Rand
becomes.
Does
it fit in his pocket?
He literally makes a special pocket for it. I'm not even joking with you.
You are joking. That
I'm
cannot
not.
be real.
Rand literally, this happens off screen, but we know what happens. Rand literally sits down, sews a big-ass pocket on his coat, and is like, this is to fit my massive bazooka. You know, magic equivalent. I don't know. It doesn't,
like a little baby.
it's just like in his...
Like a little papoose.
He's got a baby Bjorn, and it's...
He holds the children calling his baby Bjorn.
Yeah, exactly. And he's like, whenever he wants to intimidate someone, he's like, look at me. Look at my face. Now look at my child's face.
Look at my baby Bjorn.
I could destroy you.
I feel like this is a fake plot.
It's not! How could I ever make something like that up?
How does anybody take Rand seriously in this story? Like, he's carrying a statue in his pocket.
Oh, my sense is that most people don't, and he just thinks they are.
Like, imagine Matt being like, what are you
No, if
doing?
Matt saw him while he had that in his pocket, Matt would, like, be like, I'm gonna bully you until you stop. What the hell? Anyway, Rand and Asmodean, our new dynamic duo, go back to the Golden fucking Bowl. and are like, hey, what's up? Just disappeared. Came back with this Glee man in tow.
Yeah, and everyone's like, what?
And no one is like, hey, where'd Jason come from?
I love that his name is Jason.
I know, I love that his name is Jason. No one's like, so you disappeared and reappear with the Glee man, and are like, no one's suspicious about that, I guess.
I mean, he did just make it rain.
I know. Make it rain.
I'm blessed the rain down in Africa. Toto, don't sue us.
Ryan's like, this... Oh, God. Toto and Chumbawamba. The two.
Yeah, those are our villains.
Ah! No.
Chumbawamba's our enemies to lovers.
Oh, that's nice to think about.
The lovers is when we stopped copywriting their music.
That's true, yeah. Yeah, Rand's like, this is my new partner in crime. Sorry, Matt, you've been demoted. And Matt's like, I demoted myself like 3 books ago. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't want to be near your ugly ass. Except when I have to protect it so that I don't die. Mm-hmm. Rand, it's all about me in this equation.
Of course.
Rand's like, okay, we're off. I guess we have to go, finish what we started, because the Shado have just taken off along with a percentage of the others. Rourke's like, none of my guys went. Because my guys are cool.
And he dabs.
And he fucking dabs.
He's
like, but Rand, I wish you had not done that.
I wish you had not done this.
And Rand's like, it's too late, motherfucker.
I did it. Oops.
Now we've got to wait for everyone else to arrive so that we can go ravage Kyrian, as the next book demands.
For reasons.
For reasons unknown.
Because he wants to give it to Elaine or whatever.
I don't know. It's because the Shado get there first and are like, we fucking hate Kyrian. And Moiraine's like, understandable on you, honestly.
They killed your tree.
Look at them.
Look at me.
Look at me. It's the fucking Sun King all over again.
But Talmanes is Kyrianan, right?
Yeah, but, he meets Matt and then they get to go away and get married.
I'm sorry, Talmain.
Talma. Why does this always happen? We start an episode and we're like, oh, we're so tired. And then by the fucking 45-minute mark, we're like, clowns. Deranged clowns.
It's very funny to think of Talmane's name being Tolmol.
I can't.
Matt being like,
this book is already full of unpronounceable. Yeah, Matt would just be like, your name's Talmanes now, bitch.
He's like, thank God.
Thank God. I've been waiting for years for someone non-French to rescue me from the prison that is fantasy France. Anyway, then the book ends.
Yeah.
Rand's like, we gotta go. Rourke's like, 10-4.
Roger that. Into his little radio.
Yeah,
like,
into
copy.
that, he's like, alright, we're getting ready to pull out.
Roger, over.
Dragon Reborn wants to leave.
Ruark to all Tardad, the Dragon Reborn is ready to go. Do you copy?
The eagle is leaving.
The eagle is leaving.
Quick, shoot him.
Ruark's like, okay, listen. I know he's the card and whatever, but stab him.
I know I am the head of the Secret Service in this scenario. Who's the guy in London Has Fallen or whatever? Olympus Has Fallen?
Oh, yeah.
Is it Gerard Butler?
Is it Gerard Butler? Because there's like 2 that are like the exact same movie.
Well, there's one with Channing Tatum, and that one's the funny one, and that one's called White House Down.
Yeah, it's Channing Tatum and Jamie Foxx, right?
Yeah.
And then the other one...
The other one has Morgan Freeman. I know that, but I don't know the white guy. Don't worry,
I feel
I'm
like
looking
it's
it up,
Gerard
everyone.
Butler.
Olympus, it is Gerard Butler.
You nailed it.
God, I'm so proud of us.
Thankfully, probably not played by Gerard Butler.
In the first one, there's a white president, but then in the second installment, it becomes Morgan Freeman.
Nice.
Presumably because it came out in 2013, and they were like, it's time. Barack has just been elected to his 2nd term.
Yeet.
God, those were the days. Anyway, Tibble, I wish you would not do this.
This next good sticker option. I wish you had not done this.
I wish you had not done this. Like an arrow. Okay, that's it.
That, for fuck's sake, is the Shadow Rising.
That was the Shadow Rising. The shadow has risen, as it were.
It's erect now.
It's fully erect.
Gone limp? Nope. The shadow has risen.
Stop. I hate that billboard. I also hate that movie poster that's from the point of view of Sonic the Hedgehog's dick.
Yeah, it's deeply upsetting.
You might not have seen it. It might only have been in our local movie theater, but I saw it, and Sally saw it, and Devin and Janet saw it, and we all know.
Yeah, and Devin tried to excuse it away. He's like, he's holding the camera on his stomach.
It's like, no, that's his penis.
Devin.
Devin, obviously.
I love you, Devin.
I don't know. What do we usually do at the end of a season? I've completely forgotten.
I was like, we rate it, and then I was like, no, we don't watch
Outlander. I think we just say, thank God.
Yeah. No, I feel like at the end of The Dragon Reborn, I was crying because then I had to talk about this fucking book.
The good news is that now we get to talk about the Fires of Heaven.
Yeah, which is true. We survived one of the even books, and now we can go to the odds.
Now we can go to one of the odds. The bad news is that after the Fires of Heaven, we have to read Lord of Chaos, and the cycle continues.
Mm-hmm. Lord of Chaos at least has some good egg content.
Yeah, Lord of Chaos has some good content, we can all agree. Not as good as Fires of Heaven.
I really need to start reading. We're going to be caught up to where I am before we know it.
In a year and a half.
Have you noticed how slow I am at reading?
Okay, yeah. Maybe you should start tomorrow.
I'll start Path of Dagger soon.
Okay.
Thanks for coming along with us on this journey through the waste.
And the Stone of Tyr for a long time, for some reason.
And also, what's the city that Elaine?
Tanchico.
Tanchico.
And also the Two Rivers.
And doesn't the White Tower break in this book?
And the White Tower and Perrin's Dreams.
And yeah,
Fail's vagina, because that's some things happen there, Ian, if you know what I'm saying. Okay. Yeah, thank you. Thanks to Glenn Mackenzie for our theme song. Next week, right, we will be taking a bye week.
That's correct.
Next week, we're just going to give ourselves a little breather from after the Shadow Rising. Then we will be back the following week, either with some EHR extra content, if we think of something fun to do that the people will love, or we'll just start the Fires of Heaven. I don't really know.
Should always do like a Q&A, but I feel like you guys have asked us many questions.
Yeah, you fucking know everything about us already. That's not true.
Or do you?
I'm an enigma wrapped in a mystery. Yeah, just that's it. Do you have anything else?
I could talk to you guys about birds for 30 minutes.
Birds.
Or I could talk to you about volleyball anime.
Yeah,
those are my two areas.
Listen, we have unlimited things to talk about.
Yeah.
It's just whether
or
not
not you
would
enjoy it. It's a different story.
Tybalt's eating again, which is...
It's a good way to end the
sign.
season.
Yeah.
But real quick, thanks to everyone who's supporting us on Patreon, and thank you to everyone who has bought stickers. So far, we love it when you send us pictures of where they end up. So please, if you have stickers and want to send us some pictures, that would be rad. If you haven't bought stickers, we still have plenty. Please do so. They're pretty cheap, $4 each or $10 for a pack of 3. $1 domestic shipping, meaning the United States, $2 international shipping. Emily and I will write you a card.
Sally will write you a card and I'll sign it. That's how it usually goes. But I do mean my signature.
And Emily will address it.
Yeah.
And put the stamps on it.
That's how we do
it. Seal it with love.
Yep. Tybalt just crunching in the background.
Yeah, I feel like
so sorry.
There's no better sign off than just these horrible audio sounds. Here, can I bring it?
I'm so sorry.
Don't do war crimes.